Most people think presidential elections are the big ones. They are. But I want to make the case to you that this election, the 2022 midterms, is the most important election of your life. Why? Because the extreme right wing is trying to destroy our government and replace it with a fascist dictatorship. Their plan is minority rule, white minority rule. They intend to rule top to bottom in every elective office in every state. They intend to start with this election, the 2022 midterms. It will set the stage for cheating in the 2024 presidential election. I hope that you will share the link to this commentary with every sane voter that you know.
The Trump Republicans, and that's most of them, intend to cheat if they don't win. Compare it to a coin toss. If it's heads and they win, then it was a fair election. If it's tails and the Democrats win, they must have cheated. If a Democrat wins, Trump Republicans will say it was a fraudulent election. In future elections, Republicans intend to challenge every Democrat win as a fraudulent election. Ultimately, the only winner of any election will be a Republican if we let it happen. They are trying everything possible to undermine your confidence in the integrity of our voting system. They want you to think all elections with a Democratic winner are rigged. That's what Trump's big lie about the 2020 presidential election is all about. Wyoming Representative Liz Cheney, a voice of courage and integrity in the January 6th committee hearings, recently visited Arizona with a warning about two of the top Republican candidates in the Grand Canyon state in the midterm elections.
I spend a lot of time thinking about Arizona. And if you think about elections that are happening now, in Arizona today, you have a candidate for governor in Kari Lake. You have a candidate for Secretary of State in Mark Finchem, both of whom have said, this isn't a surprise, it's not a secret, they both said that they will only honor the results of an election if they agree with it. And if you care about democracy and you care about the survival of our republic, then you need to understand, we all have to understand that we cannot give people power who have told us that they will not honor elections. Elections are the foundation of our republic.
Just like Hitler's Nazis, Trump Republicans like Kari Lake and Mark Finchem see free and fair elections as an obstacle blocking their dream of a white supremacy American dictatorship. Lake, Finchem, and the other Trump suck-ups running for election want a dictatorship because they see white rule of America going down the drain. They also know their perverted, corrupt, and blasphemous version of Christianity is fading from the nation's culture. Evangelical Christians, the base of Donald Trump's base, spit on the message of love in the Gospels and seethe with hate for everyone who isn't like them. Their lives of hate include contempt for women. These are women in Afghanistan this past summer under Taliban male rule. There's not a dime's worth of difference between the Taliban's contempt for women and the contempt shown by American fundamentalist so-called Christians. Banning abortions is just the first step. The rollback of women's rights will escalate if Republicans control U.S. politics. They want to stop the march of time and the world's changing demographics in which European whites will be a definite minority in both numbers and power. They want to take control of local school boards to block teaching truth and facts to our kids. They want a white is right curriculum. In the U.S., the white right longs for the 1950s, when America was ruled by white, hetero, so-called Christian men. Robert P. Jones is the founder of the Public Religion Research Institute. He has a Master of Divinity degree and a Ph.D. in Religious Studies. He is the author of The End of White Christian America. Jones says white evangelical Christians see their cultural power fading, and they're embracing radical politics, hoping to turn things around.
And what I think is going on is that the anxieties that many, particularly white conservative Christians, are feeling is being driven by this real sense of loss and grief of this cultural world that they and their ancestors built, and that used to hold sway in the center of American culture and is now really passing from the scene. His appeal to them has been to appeal to this sense of nostalgia and loss and grief. And when he says, "Make America Great Again," he's saying, I'm going to restore power to the Christian churches.
Trump's supporters have become a cult, ignoring the fact he told over 30,000 documented lies or distortions while he was president. Trump's cult has willfully turned a blind eye to a staggering amount of evidence that he is a lifelong white-collar racketeer who tried to overthrow our government. That's why President Biden and others say democracy is on the ballot in this election.
It's not hyperbole to suggest right now democracy itself is on the ballot as well.
There's a deceptively simple but powerful way to fight the radical right and Trump-style fascism. Vote against every Republican for every office on your ballot, every last one of them. This isn't a vote for the Democrats. You don't have to like the Democrats to use voting for them as a weapon against the fascist radical right. This is a vote against the extremist Republican candidates. In other words, most of them. I've used this quote before, but it bears repeating. All that is necessary for evil to prevail is for good men to do nothing.
It's no exaggeration to say this election is a choice between democracy and fascism. Every single elective office is at stake. Please vote, and vote like your country is at risk, because it is. I'm Vince Wade.